Women in the music industry in Zimbabwe, that's a topic and a half. There's a lot of things we could talk about on that issue. But I would say, at large, we have come a long way, and where we are from where we started, we've done a lot as an industry. When I came into the music industry, a lot of people still had the mentality that female musicians, are loose, and they expected the worst from us. It was still a thing when I got in the music industry. And it's still there even now, but it's much better. We have a lot of great examples of musicians with good brands behind them, musicians who have clean names, who are not associated with being loose. It was important to look after our brands when we got in the music industry because of this. When you are a female musician, there are certain things you are judged a bit more harshly than male musicians. Let's just say when you're a female in general. There are certain things you're judged on a bit more harshly than our male counterparts. That's how it's been. As I tried to answer this question also when it was asked, you cannot really put a finger at it, but there are a lot of limiting factors for us female musicians, not to mention the obvious ones. If I fall pregnant today, at some point I won't be able to do what I could have done if I wasn't pregnant, or what my other male counterparts can do, but because I have to go and give birth and whatnot, already that's a little bit of a limiting factor. I give birth, I have to stay home and look after kids. I know female musicians who had to take a break for a year or 2 years to look after their children, which is great, but those are things that no one looks at when they are comparing the two. And then also, venues. We have a limitation of venues that are diverse in Harare or other cities in Zimbabwe. So there's a very thin line between a music venue and then a bar. And then the majority that we have are bars. And for females, sometimes it's not the most conducive place for you to be playing, especially when you're married. Then there are questions of whether your husband is okay with it or not, or your children, or your type of image, or your type of music and all. If you decide you're going to perform there also, then you have to have a thick skin. And that's something that female musicians have been working on. It's changing now. We have female musicians who are going into all those spaces also and performing in all those spaces that female musicians have never been known to perform in. You have to be prepared to be on a tour, not exactly a tour bus, but to be touring, traveling in the evenings, in small cars, to go and play in the next place. Not necessarily conducive for a female. It could be the time of the month where you need certain comforts, but you have to do it. That's all that comes with grabbing the bull by the horns. So there's a lot of things involved in it, and I would like to acknowledge that, yes, there are many limiting factors when it comes to women. Having said that, we find ourselves in an era where you can't really claim that we are being oppressed. You can't really claim that someone holds an axe by your neck and says, oh, you're female, you can't do this. There isn't anyone really doing that. So what it means is we just have to throw ourselves out there and do things that have never been done. It's a great space to be in because it means there's so much that hasn't been done. It means there's so much that you could do. So to all my other female friends, I say there's so much we can do, and we need to be grabbing the bull by the horns. Speaking of being the change that you want to see, a year and a half ago, I did a jazz concert for female musicians only, which is called SwayAfrica. And we're going to be doing it again next year. I'm excited about it. I enjoy creating platforms for people who are not ordinarily getting those platforms. Most promoters in Harare are not really looking at most of the female musicians. Of course, there's a question of the pull factor. Most of us female musicians don't have it also. So it goes back to what I said, it's about balancing the two. The females have to step up also. And our promoters need to step up also. You can't seriously be claiming that we don't have great female musicians in the country. Both sides really have to step up.
Oh, just tell me a bit about this concert.
This fantabulous concert. It's going to be featuring Dudu Manenga, Prudence Katumeni, and Ruth Mbangwa. So it's a women in jazz concert, and it's called Sway, from the verb itself, to sway. So it's about dance grooves from township jazz music, traditional jazz standards from the Billie Holidays and stuff like that, and a bit of the Zimbabwean element in it also. Dudu is going to have a trio, Ruth has a full band, Prudence has a quartet, so they're going to be very different sounds, a nice mix of Zimbabwean music and jazz. And for the first time in my life, I'm getting makeup, just looking good for being behind the scenes and stuff. So that's exciting. That's why I'm not sweating. That's the concert.
All right, and then the promotion side of it. Why promote?
Many reasons. I decided to venture into promotion, especially of female musicians here in Zimbabwe for now, because there's an imbalance, and it would seem we need to put in a little bit more effort into the promotion of female musicians here in Zimbabwe. Our female musicians have great music. It just doesn't get to the masses that much. And jazz music itself also hasn't been promoted as much as other music styles here. So these are two things that need a little bit more of a push to get the music to the fans. The musicians themselves also agree that, like, especially for jazz, we don't have any jazz venues anymore right now. So there are a lot of starved fans out there. So we're hoping to have a full house today with all these jazz-loving people. Also, promotion, because why not? And I'd really love to see more women venturing into the business side of art and culture, and promotion is definitely one of them. Yeah.
In the headlining, the issue with there are so many shows happening every weekend, but hardly ever any female headliners. Why Zimbabwe? Because I see it in South Africa. I see it. Why is it in Zimbabwe we're not seeing females headlining our shows?
I think it's a mixture. I'd like to speak for the women who are here. You know, we wear various hats in our life. And if you look at the environment in Zimbabwe, unlike in South Africa where you have promoters, you have people who understand that this thing is a business. And there are different promoters who target the different customer segments. Here you don't have that. And we're hoping with like this hope thing, this way, no pun intended, you know, it's a spark that's going to ignite a huge flame. Yeah. That's going to take it to turn it somewhere else. But coming back to us wearing various hats, imagine juggling motherhood, school runs, other stuff that generates income. Yeah. And then at the same time, promotion, that's promoting your show. That is one huge job on its own. And then on top of that, you're supposed to be the creative director of your own work. Yeah. So it's a lot. And speaking, and I know the ladies agree, especially here, we are perfectionists. Because of the type of genre that we do. We want perfect productions, as perfect as we can have them done. So
that's why we're not even releasing albums every 6 months, right?
Yeah. We know it's really, it's about perfection.
We understand that it takes 9 months for a child to be born. In our market.
You too.
You miss me, Gam.
I'm speechless.
Our kind of music is like wine, eh?
Ruth,
and it's still in the barrel.
Don't even talk about wine.
Yeah, so it takes quite a while to get to the quality that we really expect.
Unlike my health.
Yes. Yeah, I think in Zimbabwe, I'm sorry to say, but most of the times, a lot of mediocre stuff is celebrated. And Zimbabweans sometimes, why? You know, if something chicken bought, everybody goes for it. You know, even business-wise. Ndikatanga kutengesa madomasi angu zvikanditira rain rese rinotengesa madomasi. So I think with us, it's about also being unique. And I'd like to say there's a niche for it. Not looking at the rich, not looking at the intellectual. You know, jazz music is for all body. It's for everybody, really. Because you get a vendor in Bari there calling out, do, Prudence, they know. And they know the kind of music that we produce and they like it. So yeah, I think this is a new dispensation. And like Prudence was saying, it's a spark. And I believe it's going to really bring out big flames. Yes.
People organize shows so that they make money.
Money.
But promotions is about going for something that is not, supporting it and bringing it into the limelight. So if you're saying I'm promoting, if we look up, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Promotion, and exactly you said it. If you look at the etymology of that word, promotion.
Yes.
So there's that proactiveness to cause motion to happen. And so few people do that here, who come and they're seeking out a genre and they're saying, listen, we want to highlight this thing because that's what promotion is about. And so we have people who will put together, who will do a jazz festival, and then they'll put a ex-musician whom we know plays Mbira, whom we know plays,
all those other stuff.
All other stuff, and they're there, but because they want a crowd. And
just to make people.
Yeah, they want a crowd, and it's not about promotion. So that was my piece to that. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I second that.
I've learned something today about promotion.
Yes.
Sway. What is it all about? To tell you about Sway, I'm going to call the lady behind Sway. The magnificent, the delightful, the delectable Hope Masike. Please put your hands together for Hope Masike.
I got a brand new hairstyle, thank you. And there are a lot of brand new things, oh thank you. There are a lot of other brand new things happening now and you will witness them. One of them is this, my very fresh, my very newest baby, Sway. And sway comes from the verb itself, to sway, moving right and left rhythmically. So we're going to be doing that tonight with a lot of fantabulous jazz. Now sway, I decided to do sway for very simple reasons, few of them, I'll try to say a couple of them. First one, why not? I have been in the music industry for the last 7 years now, and I actually do love doing this promotional work. I spend a lot of time promoting my concerts and stuff like that, so I decided I like doing it, why not do it? Secondly, we have a lot of fantabulous women in the music industry in Zimbabwe, and personally I think they need more light shed on them. I grew up listening to Prudence Kat. I mean, all of us, we know PP and we know More Time, and I know a lot of people don't know this. I was once a backing vocalist in Duduma Nenga's band, and these women have wonderful music. Wait till you hear Ruth and Bambo and you will know what I'm talking about. So personally I thought, what is happening to the ladies in Zimbabwe? We need more light shed on them, and I thought, one wise man once said, you be the change you want to see. So why not do it? Thirdly, hey, we need more jazz in Harare. We used to have Jazz 15, the Manenberg. Now we don't have all those places. So we need jazz popping up every now and then for all you jazz lovers.